Yahweh, if you breathe in, Yah, and you breathe out, way. And what happens at the beginning of life? You breathe in. At the end of life, you breathe out. And that's why
life begins at conception, not your first breath.
I'm sorry?
So you believe life begins at the first breath, not conception?
I don't. No, I believe that it starts at conception.
That's a good question, though. Do you breathe in the womb?
Breath,
how do you breathe as a baby in the womb? I don't even know.
When I say
spiritual creatures, then if you believe that we are spirit, then you would have to believe that it's at conception.
The spirit is never. It's been created once at the beginning of the earth, and it doesn't ever end from a spiritual standpoint.
So if it doesn't ever end, how can it ever begin?
Because you're dealing with a celestial entity which has never had a beginning or an end.
Right, and if you're a part of that, just like the universe itself.
Okay, let's look at it this way. If you're an artist, at what point in time does a man on a canvas begin to take shape?
In the mind.
Well, actually, so you ready for this? Hold on, let me answer. Can I answer?
Yeah.
At the beginning of the creation, because without creation, the plants and the particles, the water, everything that came to being from the start of the universe to the time that took shape had to take a certain path to get those exact atoms from the star. Right, so it has no actual beginning. We only divide things in our mind.
That's a type and shadow. That's a type and shadow of the Creator, because in His mind, we had a spiritual creation, and there was a spiritual creation before anything was physically upon the earth. The Lord created a canvas called the earth, and He said, "Let us make this earth in His mind first," and then He said, "Let us make people in His mind first." And then He said, "Let us make animals, and let there be a greater light and a lesser light." And then He said the planets on the fourth day. So time began on the fourth day. But there was the dinosaurs at? Creation.
Time. There cannot. That's incorrect. Time, space, and matter are inseparable. It can't. None of them can exist without the other. They are woven together.
In this creation, that's correct.
In this creation, so it couldn't start on any fourth
mister,
day.
Go back a couple. Go back one.
Wait,
right there. No, right there. That looks like a woman right there. Like her private parts to me.
Well, that is the, if you would, that's the number 8, or the karma, and it also has to do with money. But the number 8 and the reproductive organs of the female all have to do with coming out of the karma.
Okay, so it is related. Okay.
Yes.
But this is the thing, like...
Are there two of them, or can you see how it was designed? Do you see where the design is?
Yes, I see.
Do you tell me what object did I use to create this design? Besides the spark in between, which is the diamond in between the two. Nope.
No?
No.
Not the diamond, not the 8.
One between 2, but one goes nowhere without 2 being divided amongst the 2.
I don't know, man. That doesn't.
It's 2 hearts upside down from each other.
Looks like a girl's parts, but
all it is 2 hearts upside down on each other. That's all it is. It's just 2 hearts. That's all it is.
Wow. I see it.
I see.
So,
it's actually going
yeah, you follow it here.
Literally just like yin and yang, but I think yin and yang is a better representation of it.
Well, if you want to see yin and yang, this is a crazy design. Okay, I'll try and see if I can show it to you the same time as.
I can see that.
Just hold on a second.
So there are 2 hearts laying on their side. I guess you could say on their side. I don't know how else to explain it.
The other thing I'll say is this is just one of the worlds that we are having our physical adventure in. There, we've had many others.
Hey, I want to ask you something. Since you've given you and Luke, just everyone here has added a lot of great information. My thing is when we read, we keep referring back to the Bible a lot, even though there are a lot of other good, holy books or religious books or whatever, right? When you look at this is a historical book essentially, right? But when you look at history, I feel like you have to remember when these things were written, they only had very limited understanding until these numbers and other things and systems came into place. So then, with that being said, if we're trying to understand it today, I feel like some of these words that are being used, some of these symbols or things, maybe like the spirit, for example, I could look at that as it's not this unseen thing. If you start using like medical technology and discoveries and things like, just as we've evolved, and now the spirit is no longer this spirit, but it could possibly be, let's just say, your brain, your thoughts, I don't know if I'm putting this into words properly. It's so hard to describe like what I'm thinking. Well, is that making any sense to you?
Yes.
Just everything is experienced through the mind, and I agree that we shouldn't always rely on the Bible, which is why everything I talk about is logic and reason.
And you should, because God's very logical and very reasonable.
He's the ultimate form of logic.
Right. In fact, there's a big difference between a person's mind and the spirit. The spirit is in its own, truth is in its own sphere and is independent of the other.
So reality is different, being seen through the creator.
Yeah, we all look it through our own lens.
Right.
Yeah.
Now that's
so now I actually want to bring up that point and that is why, in my opinion, there are so many different religions and texts, because everything, like God gives it to you, or the universe, or whatever you want to call them, gives it to you in a way you'll understand.
Agreed.
Right? So that's why there's so many different perspectives, and that's why it's so comical to me how Christians are like, there's only one God. All right, there's only one creator, I'll agree with that. But how can you say that an infinite God that created an infinite universe did not create infinite gods as well?
Well,
don't go to the Bible. Let's use logic.
Source.
Now, what do you mean when you say other gods?
I mean lesser gods themselves, but far more powerful beings than us. You could call them angels. You could call them the gods of Hinduism,
like Greek mythology.
Yeah, all that. Why not? Why can't it all exist? Why can't it all have happened?
Well, I would rather look at it like this. What if there's many more people that are further along this path than we are?
I believe there are.
Of course there is. We're all on our own path, very similar but different.
And that's the way I would look at it, because there's obviously others that have had a lot greater experiences and have learned, have a lot greater knowledge than we have. I mean, if we talk to an Einstein or maybe this McTapp here who's
we wouldn't even understand
years,
he's on another wavelength.
Right.
I do understand him because I've seen similar, and that's the only reason why I feel like I can understand.
See, and that's why I wanted to.
But so MS me, what you told me is I have to take it out of my experience, but you understand it because you experienced something different, right?
Similar, not different, but similar.
Okay.
Slightly
but you
different.
you have a bait like what he's talking about. It makes almost no sense. Now, don't get me wrong. There's like little bits and pieces here, and I can kind of connect some dots. But when he starts going on and on, there's not enough context for most people to understand it.
No, that makes sense. It's like me trying to teach you freaking algebra, geometry, didn't haven't even learned simple arithmetic.
Exactly. Right.
And that's why I wanted him to go back 20 years and tell me his first experience, because I want to know what kind of spiritual experience it was that brought his mind to the point to where he felt that he needed to spend the next 20 years to do this.
So let me give you a theory on this. The world is not ready to hear what he has to say. But when the world is ready, he'll be able to explain it in a way people can understand it.
Exactly. And
right.
that's just, there's there's been other lives where people have looked at Genesis with the pineal gland and the chakras and things like that. And trust me, they're not wrong either.
Well, look at even Einstein. They all thought there were certain of his
exactly.
There were certain of his theories that weren't even proven until after he was alive. Like
Absolutely.
Years after, right?
Absolutely.
So, and yeah, I'm not going to ever say he's wrong. Never will I ever say that. I'm just saying he's not giving it in a way that's understood yet.
Right. To you yet, yes.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
And to follow it is literally like, to try and follow it is literally like...
No, it's, it's like going into, it's like going into freshman algebra and you don't have a math background.
No, exactly. It's like me saying to you, okay, I'm going to go to takedown, I'm going to pass guard, I'm going to take mount, then I'm going to go to high mount, I'm going to switch back to side control, go to Kimura. If I lose the Kimura, I'm going to go to triangle, then I'm going to go to omoplata if I lose the triangle. Do you understand anything I said?
A little bit.
It's jujitsu.
Yeah.
That's exactly the sequence of what I'm going. I know exactly what I'm saying, but because you don't have the context necessary to understand it,
right.
you have almost no clue what I'm talking about.
Right.
And that's what I'm hearing. I just don't have that.
Yep.
Which he's been doing for 20 years.
But I think that it's important when you're asking these questions to even ask more questions, because that's how I've learned to understand things. Is if you ask one question and you still don't get the answer, continue to ask questions until you get the understanding. So the next question I see that needs to be asked is, Mr. Tack, like, what kind of books have you exposed yourself to? Like, that I think that would be a good basis. Like, what kind of theories besides this? What is this called? You said the game theory. Besides the game theory, like, what other sources have you used that you think are related to partaking in this game theory?
Okay, before I respond, I'm just going to let everybody know that every time I have attempted to explain each part from the Monopoly and on, there's either interruptions, so I've finished nothing. So you're absolutely right. All you have is pieces and parts of something you can't understand because I haven't built anything yet. All you see is pieces and parts, nuts and bolts, but you don't see any of the big pieces, how the tractor is going to be built, if there's going to be a motor, if there's place for a motor, a transmission. Now you see the wheels, you think it's going to roll, but you're not sure how it's going to roll, so you see a place for the differential. So this is how it has to be built, just like you building a car. This is the planet.
I'm sorry, DJ's messing with me in the comments. My bad. Bro, man. He's just trying to make me laugh. You see the comments he's posted?
I do.
No, I'm listening to Mr.
Okay, so 20 years ago, I'm going to tell you one thing. All my life, I had just one question. Couldn't understand why things were working the way they were. Okay, forget about that. That was an outscale. It didn't make any sense to me people going to synagogue and church and religion and this and...
Go ahead.
So, and don't forget, I was born in the 60s, early 60s. It's not far off from my parents come from, between the war times, right? My parents come from four different European, not my parents, my grandparents. They come from 4 or 6 different European areas, Ukraine, Romania, Russia, here, there, whatever. So my upbringing is through the listening to background noise, how people talk to each other. Don't forget in the 60s, I'm only 4 years old now, 1967. but I can hear, right? And I remember at 4 or 5 years old, they're getting onto the pony, falling off of the pony. I remember that. I remember the picture they took. I remember being on the pony. I remember the house I lived in. That was very, very little. I only lived there 3 years. Okay. In fact, it's not far from where I am now. So you can understand, I have to go back these 60 years. So everything that was put in front of me, from radio to the TV that turned off with the Indian head at midnight, to where we had no more reception, and going through my understanding is people going again back to religion. Why? How do you have a personal relationship? Where does it come from? How does it connect? How do you come back? The lifeless flower, how do these things come back? So I was very, very, very confused, and I looked to the dark side of things, to where nothing, what happens if nothing ever did exist, and the end is the end. But still there's billions of people believing otherwise. Is it just by the word? Are they just believing the word? So eventually it made me very sick for many years until I was 41. And then when I was 41, and I did read a book, I'll tell you about it after, Lord of the Flies. I think I was 11. I read Richie Rich, a lot of that. Couldn't understand why anybody wanted to talk to about the comic books of Archie and stuff. So I started to understand the differences between Archie, Richie Rich, DC Comics, and Marvel. Don't leave them out, because we are exactly that. That is us. That is us in the corridor. Mixing up of Marvel, okay, into what is DC 3 and 4. DC creates power. Is it a DC power, or is it an AC power? Is it a 1-3-4, or is it a 3-4-7? The 3 and 4, that 3-4-7-4-7 is that GD God. You spell it with the A because the A is over here. Our rotation runs from 3 by 7, 21, 2 and 1 is 3. 3 by 4 is 12, 2 and 1 is 3, 3 by 1 is 3. This is what controls us right now in the planetary system. There's a total of 9 here. We can split it up by 3 on the bottom, 3 on the top. 1, 2, 3 equals to 6. 7, 8, 9 is 24. You need to take 4 times 6 to equal to that. Call that the quarter house. But we still have 3 in the center we haven't touched. So we're going to share it. I'll share 4 with the lower house and 6 with the upper house, equaling to A, B, C, and D, to where is F, G, H, and I. The lower house, A, B, C, D, equals to 10. The 6, 7, 8, 9, the upper numbers, are equal to 30. Now we have Trinity. The house of 1/3 is where we use 4 of what is, and here we use 4 of what is, everything joined by the 5 area. So we not want to connect this. If we want to see how basic these cubes are, they're basic as the Mayan calendar. You have 1 on one side, 6 on the other. I'll connect my Aries over to Virgo, the first half of the zodiac signs. I'll also look at this one and say, hey, I have fire. But when I reach this one over here, I'll have earth. So I flip it over here to the 4. Over here, the 4. You come to 4, you have water. You flip it onto the other side, you have Gemini. And guess what you have on the other side? You have air. Now you flip it over to the 5. Inside the 5, you have a cardinal fixed sign. And guess what? Fixed. Two signs connect together when 2 and 5 come together. Those are your 7s. Where's 7, 8, and 9? Well, now we're going to connect 7, 8, and 9 to 4, 5, and 6. So what was like 1 and 6, 7 is like 9 and 4, 13. What was the corridor between 3 and 4, 7 is relevant to what is 7 and 6, 13. And what is all the mutable signs lined up? What is 2, 5, 7 is 8 and 5, 13. Upstairs is 13. Downstairs is 7. 7 and 13 right from the Mayans. Home delivery just for everybody and us. Does this make any sense to anybody?
It makes sense to MS me.
I know you got into Chinese astrology there with the earth, the water, and the...
Yes, everything...
How is it connecting to the numbers? Like, I don't understand how you're assigning each number to each thing and vice versa.
Okay, so if I get my things right, and I've been noted to be completely wrong only because of wrong choice of words. Hold on, I just want to make sure. What zodiac sign is a cardinal sign? Okay, yeah, 1, 4, 7, 10. Okay, that's good. So they're the fixed signs are 2, 5, 8, 11. Fixed sign. Zodiac.
Why is that?
Fixed sign of the zodiac.
You have 4 cardinal points, right? Equinoxes and solstices.
Hey, what number is Pisces?
12. Oh, Pisces 12, the 12th one. Yeah, but it's number 71. It works with the constellations and the power of creation in Alpha Beta.
So what is okay, so all right, let's go through them. What's the second one?
You mean Taurus or Venus?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
Taurus, Venus, and the Ox.
Which one does it start with?
It starts with Aries, which is a fire sign, which is also a cardinal sign. It's also the rat in Chinese. It also starts at 6 a.m. in the morning.
What's the 10th one?
The 10th one is Capricorn. It's the ABCD connection to the house of Trinity. It's the Capricorn.
So this has nothing to do with the calendar month.
You can also use the calendar month. I'll put that in too if you want.
So I'm a Scorpio. I'm born in the 10th month.
Okay, so you're born after October what, 21st?
Yep.
No, wait. Yes, right. Yeah. Okay, very strong. Scorpio 8, very strong, goes with Leo's head. So you and Leo will fit together. And Leo will be your basic reflection.
But isn't that tying the Chinese zodiac in with the
Yes, he did.
the moon signs and with the sun signs?
When it comes to numbers, it has nothing to do. You see, I'm going to walk into a room. Everybody in the room is going to be the plumber, the electrician, and you're going to punch in all the numbers into me. I don't know nothing. I'm just reading you back what you gave me.
Okay.
So I'm also reading back what I have found myself. And I like to look at it as the differences. I reference a little bit of Hebrew counting. I reference French because I'm in a French province, which explained to me what they're doing with the numbers. The Hebrew showed me to separate 15 and 16. The French showed me to separate and associate 17, 18, and 19 by joining these numbers by saying 10, 7, 10, 8, and 10, 9. Now, being the child and the creator, when I find something on a card in Monopoly and I look at it, it says 10 and 7, but it didn't say to plus or to minus. I'm now thinking 10 minus 7 equals to 3. So now I'm saying that 17, that Libra, Capricorn.
What card in Monopoly has 10 and 7 on it?
What part of Monopoly? This wasn't from Monopoly that I just read this off of.
I'm sorry, you just said what card in Monopoly?
Oh, it doesn't. I'm just making reference in rhetorical. It's just part of the rhetorical way of expressing the situation. That it's like it has to happen. It's part of the game. It's in the algorithm. That's why he said it. So it's going to show up on the card in our creation.
Right, but couldn't you make that analogy about everything in the entire universe? That if it happened, it had to happen. That's just numbers.
Yes, but if we're looking at basic referencing to something, I want to reference in on something because you can say any letter, and now you can say any 2 letters, any 3 letters, any 4 letters, and I'm going to keep telling you a story. And not only am I going to tell you a story.
So does it have to be the original 9?
Well,
be included?
Well, it could be 1 and 8, 9, 2 and 7, 9, 3 and 6, 9, 4 and 5, 9.
Hold on. I'm going to give you a number. 187.
Now you went to triple digits.
You know what I like about that choice of numbers? That if it was, this is funny that you said that, something that 187, okay, this is where R and G comes in, okay? The reverse...
Wait, now make that correlation. How did you get R and G from 187?
18th letter is R, G is the 7th letter.
Okay.
When 7 and 8 are within the same realm together, okay, they are what I call the basic connection to the power. Let me show it, just tell you everything. Power the Christ of creation, powering the energy and the matter coming together within your alpha beta creation into the house.
So wait. So I was tracking for a second. All right, I was tracking how you got 17 and how you got 8.
I'll stop. Because when I have two numbers, okay, now I have to go through all the house of 8. Now I have to go through all the house of 7. Now I have to join the houses together.
I have a question. When you broke down 187 to RG, why did you break it to RG instead of AHG?
Oh, yeah. Right. Yes, thank you very much. There you go. Okay. There you go. Okay.
That's a good question, MS man.
Okay, there it is. Marked down. We did it. You did it before me?
Yeah, he hadn't got there yet.
So what's funny about this is that when you're working with the piano, it's A through G equaling to H, where H is all of what AG is. AG is also noted to be something connected to the divided house coming through the 7th gate, also noted to be silver. The letters for silver association is G and A, or A and G. Mm-hmm. The G and the H, okay, is the 7th and the 8th letter, which is created by 1 times 7, 1 plus 7. Because there's a lot, there's so much. I mean, I didn't even finish the Monopoly, but I just want to finish with this. So what happens with this is, you see this cube here? Do you remember I said every side is 9? Do you remember I said that?
Yeah.
So those exact numbers you said is the exact story I will show you. If every single side is 9 and I show you this side and this side, I will add 9 plus 9 equals to 18.
How do they all equal 9?
Because I'm telling you.
Right, he's putting a numerical value on each space on the dice, right?
Yes.
Why 9 and why not 4? Or why not 10? Why not another number?
Rubik's Cube shows me 9.
Wait, I'm confused. I just joined. What is going on?
Here.
Okay, but you can also divide that into 12 sections. You can divide it into 18 equal sections.
Are there 18 numbers? Are there 18 digits?
You can even do it in 4.
You can do it in 4. Yes, but I'm not calling anybody with 4. If I call somebody from 4, it's calling them, hey, anybody home? Because 4 keeps you home.
What?
Dividing the day and the night.
And that gets you
4 times 4, 4 plus 4 is 16 and 8. 16 for the day, 8 for the night. Your 16 is your 1 and 6, 7, giving you your 7 and 8 you just spoke about. You're dividing the day.
24 hours in a day.
16 and 8, yes.
What is the point of trying to be said?
Okay, you know what? Hold on. I want to stop this. There's too many.
Hold on, John. Hold on. I'm going to put something in the chat for you.
What is the conversation about? What is the...
Right, so hold on. That whole theory is incorrect because it's not 16 hours of daylight and 8 hours of night. That's not true. Not anywhere on the earth.
I think he's talking about sleeping 8 hours maybe, and then...
That's not what he said. He said light and dark. That's
totally the expansion different. Of the day reaches to 16 hours.
16 hours of day and 8 hours of night.
Everything in between makes no difference to me. I open my car door. Right? I'm not opening it up like a turnstile. There's different ways to do everything. Are we talking about something like a turnstile? Are we opening a door that opens both ways? There's a lot of different stories. Do we have a window that has one section that is shared amongst the other windows? There's a lot of things. So what I'm showing you is part of the game theory. This is not outside the game. So if I don't finish anything, it all drops to nothing.
What game?
The game I'm creating.
Any game of life. In the chat for you.
It's all the games. So when you look at Rubik's Cube, you have 9 per side. When you look here, you can see 9 areas. When you look at this, you have 9 areas. If you go to the ATM, there's 9. So we're using the system of 9.
So you don't use 0 ever?
I can use 0, but I use 0 as association. 0 and nothing, as I explained before, my version of 0, okay, is, first of all, 0 is an expansion. It's representing, first of all, 360 degrees.
Okay.
Okay. You split any 360 degrees in half, you get 180.
Right.
If you take up you come to the other side of the 360, and you come to this side of the 360, expanding over each other, equals to 190, but an area space of 20 that is now shared amongst both sides.
Wait, how do you get 190?
I'm crossing over to the other side of 180. Because I know.
Okay, so you're taking like points. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just using 0 as a reference point now, that if I split it in 3, if I split it in 4, what the answer is going to be. If I split it in 3, 0 becomes 120 by 3 for 360. If I split in 4, it becomes 4 by 90 for 360. So I'm just trying to understand the expression that will be fair between all of us, so that when we come to a conclusion of, let's say you're the plumber and I'm the electrician and we need to pass something together. So we need to know how to bring our metrics together.
So you're talking about like a sphere then, right?
A sphere would be a 2-dimensional plane if he's talking about degrees alone.
Do you know that
would have infinite degrees?
Our actual degrees we should have based on 180 equals to 540 in Trinity. The tetrahedron shows us 720. The day shows us 1440. So definitely something is wrong. Right? And one of the things that's wrong is once you pass 12, first of all, once you pass 6, you are more than the first element. Because, I mean, they already tell you need 666, so you need 18 to create. The cube itself, okay, has
we need 666.
The proton, the electron, the neutron.
I don't understand how you're jumping to these conclusions without some sort of context between them.
Okay. First,
you see how difficult it would be to follow?
Yes. Okay.
I'm trying to follow you, man. I'm really trying.
That last part kind of made sense, though, when he said protons, neutrons, and electrons. I mean,
so related to 666 for me. Protons,
between
neutrons. Hold on, wait, Alex. I want you to explain that to me. Since you got,
I don't get how the numbers make any thing to it, but I understood when you said that they're like the building blocks of what everything is. So
yeah, that's obvious.
There's smaller particles than that even. So that's not even true. It's a step in the building block of the universe. Smallest particle that we know of is a quark.
Neutrino, yeah.
Actually, the smallest of anything is going to be located either here or here. It's either this one or this one. There's nothing else.
You stop sharing, McTab.
What?
There you go. We couldn't see your screen.
I'm just so confused on everything.
Yeah, you just need.
Okay, I have to listen because too many stories. I didn't even finish the 20 years.
And that's why we're so confused. Because
okay, let me finish the 20 years.
Well, I think
I'm confused that the reason why I'm confused is because he's just saying like just numbers and how that relates to so and so. I'm just like, what, where's this coming from? Like who, like what happened? How do these numbers relate
just joined. We've been talking about this for at least 2 hours, so you're really late.
I know I'm late, but
even still, though, I still don't get it either.
How does 6 equal, a die 9 Rubik's Cube? Like, how does that relate to,
let's turn it over to McTap and let him.
Like, what are you trying to say?
He's saying that everything's game theory.
This is a game.
Like Pat game theory.
When I'm up here,
with Monopoly, man. Oh,
I want to finish the Monopoly because it was asked to me. I'm not sure who now, but I want to finish the Monopoly because one thing at a time. I got 10 things in front of me, and I get.
Here's the problem, Tac. If I sit there and listen to you for 20 minutes about the Monopoly and I literally understand 1% of it, what good does it do anybody?
Okay, right now in my game theory, as I went on over the 20 years, what happened is it said to me, okay, that yes, there is a creator. And here's the proof. All these connections, from the birth to the female cycle, to the cycles of the moon, to the connection of the Hebrew calendar of the year 2000, of the year 2015, from the year 1920 to the 1930, equaling to 2020 and 2030, to where the cube ends, okay, with 21 dots, ends on 21, okay, but you cannot count more than 20 because you cannot be on both sides at the same time. Even if you can.
Everybody's got that now, right? Continue.
So, what I am showing you is when you look at Monopoly here, which is hard to see, I have a smaller board that I'm going to show you.
There we go.
This should help a lot.
Here is the Monopoly board here.
Okay, what about it? It's just an asterisk. What about it?
I see it. It just got. It has like a layout on it, a diagram.
B, C, D, E, F, what the?
He's repeating the alphabet there.
A, B, whoop.
What happened? That
Understand that he doesn't go 1 through 26.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, F, E, D, C, B, A. Would you like me to explain it to you?
No,
it's the same thing in a mirror.
Wait, so, okay, you got a Monopoly board. Okay, what does that mean?
Okay, so this is, let me explain to you the board. If you can see all the individual squares, the quadro paper.
Yes.
You can see that the corners, just like Monopoly, are bigger than the next property next to it. It's the smallest I could have made this. This is where this begins. This is the smallest I could come to replicating without going through lines on angles or making it in between. So I use this as the maximum size space, meaning that if you can get small, this is as small as you get. It's a dot and a dash. That's it. That's your coordinate space. A dot and a dash. 5 and 1 according to the Mayans equals to 6. In this world, it's a V and a 1 before or after equaling to 4 and 6. Otherwise, it's a number 5 and a number 1. Put the 5 through the 1 equals to the dollar sign. We have moved forward in time.
What is the V and the 1?
The V in Roman numerals and the 1 in Roman numerals equals to 6.
Yeah, okay.
Did you know that all of the Roman numerals equals to 5 and 1 only?
Okay. What about
XL?
X equals to 1, L equals to 5.
how?
No.
10 equals to 1, 10 equals to 1 plus 0 is 1, 50 equals to 5 plus 0 is 5. Counting it to a Pythagorean calculation in this equation, when you add each section of section M1000 is 1.
What about 2? That's a good question. That's
2 is when you use 2 of them, 1 and 1.
But you said everything
1
equals
plus
5.
1 equals 2.
Roman numeral.
He's breaking it, always breaks it
We're
down.
saying they use 5s and 1s. Not they're all equal to.
Yeah, they're all equal to
Don't
5
just
and
use
1s.
5s. The X is 10. 10 is X. L is 30.
50.
50. L is 50, right? And then there's one for 100 too.
C.
C.
Right. So how is that all equal 5?
Okay, C equals to 100. 1 plus 0 is 1. M equals to 1,000. 1 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 1. D equals to 5. What's that?
1 plus 1 plus, 1 plus 0 plus 0 does not equal 5. You said it all equals 5.
No, I said it all equals 1 and 5.
It all equals 1 and 5.
What about 0?
No, the zeros are, the only reason I understand for using the 0 is an area space related to the 1 section, that's n section, the 100 section, the 1,000 section, but between the 100 and the 1,000 we put a comma. According to the cube, all opposite sides are relative to 3. When you get to the 4th opposite side, it becomes the band of the cube.
Tac. When you start going off on a tangent like this, nobody can understand.
Okay, so let's get back to this. Let me explain this. Let me finish this.
Yeah, what's the Monopoly board?
So here's the 4 corners of the Monopoly board. And then let's count. 1 property, 2 properties, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Corner. And then so on. Here's your 40. So far, so good?
Okay.
Yep.
Now, when you create this, the number of area spaces I need to create this in these squares was a 13 by 13 board, equating to what you see over here, FGF EDCBA.
Can you explain that?
Because the 7th area of Monopoly is the G area from every single corner.
So what
Now
is
look,
this?
What does
I
that
don't
mean?
understand.
The G area, the 7th area,
What's the 7th section?
the 7th section is the trains.
Oh, okay. So how did you get to it that it's the 7th section? Because
Okay,
it's the 7th space from each corner.
Right, okay, so there's 3 ways to answer this. One of them is when you're measuring. When you're measuring, and each corner has a value of 2, because all corners are 2 by 2, every property is 2 by 1. So when I measure and I come from the corner of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But when you're counting for property value, okay, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you look at the board, if I show you this paper,
Okay, what are you assigning the value to each property as?
well, just the area space it resides.
Okay, that's the simple one. Just give me the simplest answer, man.
Every area space, there's 3 or 4 levels to this, but the basic is every area space, okay, is 1.
Listen, man, I got a 9th grade education, man. You give me the basic. Don't give me some complicated.
Every area space is 1.
Yeah.
So let's look at this. I want to show
That
you
makes sense
something.
to me now. Okay, that makes
Every
sense.
area space is 1. You go around, there's 40. When you start the game, in order to get to area space number 6, you must roll what on 2 dice?
3 and 3.
A 4, a 2. No, there's a bunch. You can roll
Well, yeah,
4
there's
and a 2.
combinations.
You can roll 2 3s, or you can roll 5 and a 1.
Okay, give me the answer now.
Any one of them, they all equal the same thing.
What is the number?
6.
But I need 5.
But you don't always get 5. Sometimes you get 3 and 3, or sometimes
No,
4 and
you have
2.
to tell me 5 to get there.
Oh, 1 2 3 4 5. Okay.
Because when you're on go, you're not counting the area space you stand on. Therefore, you're standing on 1. You're going to 6, which is 5 away.
Okay. Wait. Hold on. Let me think about this for a second. You're right. So you don't. So if you count 6, you're actually on the
7th one.
But how do you include? If you don't count it, how do you include it?
Well, because if I'm building, let's say I have a building, a floor. Okay, I have a floor. And on the floor is one place for the electrical room. Now I have a 30 by 30 floor, but I don't have that 30 by 30 floor. The electrical room is taking up that one area space. And the electrical room will always take up an area space, and I move it all the time. So it occupies an area space fixed in the game. This is where the difference between the one separation number. You start on number 1, you don't start on 0. So you're starting from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now you're on the trains.
Everything in the universe, time, years, everything.
Yes, your time energy works out. I know those numbers. Time energy, they all work. I know all those now. Yes, it's huge. There's thousands of answers. Even when it comes to Jesus Christ and all this, right? Do you know that Jesus Christ, matter and energy are the same numbers?
Hey, let's stay on topic.
Okay,
please.
okay.
Please, let's stay on topic.
So now you're 5 away, right? So now, if we want to travel, you remember I said to Electric Company we wanted to travel to?
The 12th space, yeah.
Well, that is right. It's 12 from here. It's 12 from the first area. So it's 12 plus the one you stood on.
Right, because the one you stood on is 0. Always, right?
Right, so that it's actually 13 spaces from where you started.
Right. Difference between man and woman, being in the game and starting from out of the game before you come into the game.
Yeah, but that's just Monopoly, though.
No. But dude, this actually fucking crazily makes some sense now.
I still got nothing. I still got nothing.
So, Luke, tell me what you know.
The neurons are firing.
So I don't get the clarity yet of how male and female is 12 and 13. He did the bar mitzvah thing, right? Bar mitzvah and bar mitzvah. Okay. It's starting to make sense to me, and I feel like freaking MS me, where I'm like, I don't know if I can explain this.
Yeah, wait, I'm confused on my own. Like,
there's too much information to put it into simple words. Like, it's a culmination of so many things.
Luke, can you explain it to us?
No. Can I just ask one question real quick?
No, just let Luke explain it.
So no, go ahead and talk, because I've got to think this, because what he just said made some sense, and I don't even know if I can quantify it. But can I ask a clarifying question real quick, though? About the 12 and 13, so you're saying that woman had to come before man?
The board is the female house, but the interjection from the male comes from outside the house. Because the woman is connected to the house of both the house of Bait and the house of Vet, according to the Hebrews. I'm just following everybody's scripture. You want to go to Quran? If I knew anything or you know something, then we'll throw it in. Wait. Actually,
So is this why in older civilizations a woman usually became a woman around 12 and a man usually became a man around 13? The cube. You want me to tell you something about the cube? The cube is the female. The cube is 156, the same amount of area space there is on the faces of the cube. So again, you're throwing out way too many numbers way too quickly. I know you know this, but I'm trying to understand. I'm really, truly trying to understand. Rubik's cube in itself is made up of 26 cubes plus a spindle area space that controls everything. Okay. Every cube has 6 sides. Right. When you multiply 6 by 26, it equals to 156, which is equivalent to 12 by 13. 13 being the number of moons, 12 being the number of cycles. Okay, so this is like starting to blow my mind a little bit, actually, because it's making sense in a crazy way that I really don't even, like, I can't even quantify, but it's starting to make sense.
How does this relate to, like, when people were looking at the earth as flat and then we switched over to the earth being round now? 5-letter word,
4-letter word. Okay. I'd have to study that. It comes to the association between the father and the mother, association to the two houses, the divided houses. D4, 500. M1000. What are
divided houses, man and woman?
It's Abraham had 2 wives, right? Or the first 2 children came from Isaac and Ishmael. Right. So Abraham is a communication system.
So even to take that further, there are some stories where Adam had 2 wives as well.
Okay, so I never worked on the Adam, but the thing about Adam, it says...
Unless it was his... No, there's no way.
So by Adam having 2 houses, you have to understand your letter configuration of the word Adam being 4 letters, okay, which is aqua, and it's relating to aqua because there's 4 inside the word. The Q comes into the word, the same thing as in quarter, equaling to what 4 is. When you have Adam, it's 1414 relating to a connectivity of moons, relating to sun energy, another
Sun energy is masculine energy, and moon energy is feminine energy. That's what the ancients thought.
So now let me take that because we're going to use the 13th.
Oh, wait, don't get on subject this time. Stay on point.
We're asking him a lot of stuff.
So the association between what is electric...
Clarifying questions, and he takes it in a whole different direction.
Well, we weren't finished with the electric company yet. The
Okay.
12th and 13th area, the bar mitzvah
Monopoly.
the bar mitzvah is the 13th year or 169 moons, which encompasses the whole board. Now when you plug in the board, plug in your motherboard.
That's why
What's the motherboard?
There it is, right in front of you. The 7th area is where all the trains are.
The motherboard.
The 7th area is where all the trains are. All the trains run in the 7th area. The 6th area is all the red around. If this was darts, the 7th area would be the 50 zone. The red area would be the 25 for green. But wait. So let's establish that this can be 12 or 13, counting whether or not the movement of the total area space or rolling of the dice.
Gotcha.
Male and female. Okay. Now we go over here. Because when you have this property, it's associated with waterworks. Would you like to know what number waterworks is? It's 12 away from go or the 13th spot with go.
In reverse.
In reverse. Do you know what number it is also? Number 28 or and 29.
From the opposite direction.
Starting from here and going all the way down to here, it's the 29th area space.
But if we're using the alphanumeric system, right? 28 or 29, you said, right? Like,
Yes.
That doesn't apply to our English alphabet then. So we would have to reduce those numbers then and again, right?
We can reduce them, but
to the 9.
we can reduce them, but
Okay.
when we run the menstrual cycle of 28 days, we know on the 29th day we're going to run a 28-day cycle again, unless there's a child inside. So on the 29th day, just like the 13th day, the child is beginning to be crowned, and you have the 29th day of February, which changes April 1st from the day of the full of the 720 minutes, okay, into the 92nd day because of that birth. The day of communication, April 1st.
Again, you're getting off topic.
Yeah, no, well, this is the number 29. This is where the breath comes in. You were talking earlier when the child comes. When is it?
So
When is?
related to water on the Monopoly board. That's what he's explaining, like the position, the 28, 29 position.
Okay. That's
So
the
it's just
simple
like-
answer. I just want a simple answer, not 70. You know what I mean?
The Waterworks Electric Company are let's say 12 and 28 or 13 and 29.
Okay.
Okay, that 13 is understood as being the connection. Okay, the 13 moon's going to relate to the male. The 13 moons is going to be the connection between 616 and this Mayan algorithm. Let me show you this Mayan algorithm. Maybe we can go over this after we jumped off the Monopoly board, just to say that Area 51 on Monopoly is visiting jail.
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh.
How did we come to
I don't
this?
mean to laugh.
Tacpans, isn't it just a board game though? Like they
The
didn't
board
design
game wasn't
It's
just
It's
a
a,
board
it's
game.
a
It was-
concept of
We
numbers
can
that are
look
found
at-
in all games.
We can look at other games too. Like Monopoly is not the only one.
But he's picking Monopoly specifically.
What about
is what I'm
chess?
saying.
Yeah.
So, like,
Okay, do you want to do chess? I mean, listen, we can keep breaking this down, but I can.
How you're explaining
You want to break it down? I'll do any game you want, but let's do one thing at a time. I just want to finish. Let me show you. This is an algorithm that's so perfect. Okay, right now I believe that there's a creator. I believe that the creator, because the algorithms are so perfect, I'm only telling you stories that associate with algorithms and the pure algorithms itself. Do you remember when I showed you the 4 times 4, 4 plus 4? Does anybody remember that? But I don't think anybody gave me enough time to show the results. So I want to re-show these results again, just to start with. Okay. The 4 times, I'm going to take this off, I'm going to put it back. 4 times 4, 4 plus 4, 16 and 8, 24. 2 and 4 is 6. 3 times 3.
Again, you're going way too fast, man.
4 times 4, 16.
Okay.
4 plus 4, 8. 8 plus
Okay.
16, 24. 2 plus 4 equals to 6. 3 times 3, 9. 3 plus 3, 6. 6 and 9, 15. 1 and 5 is 6. It just so happens, I think I got lucky, that the opposite sides of the cube of 33 is 44. And because of this multiplication and addition, they both equate in the star system to equality. They are equal.
3 and 4 are equal?
3 and 4, 4
6 and 8 are equal.
There you go, 6 and 8.
So what about not equal but mirror images?
Whichever way you choose to say it, I don't know the best way, but why don't we try this now? This is
can I pause you? So you said the result to the original problem was this related to the 7, 8, 9. I was just pulling up the photo of I took a screenshot of your calculations. What was the result, the solution to that?
Just give me a second. 15. Oh, I made a mistake. Hold on over here. I'm just doing this one here. Okay. Where was this?
Okay. So it's 30 or 3?
Oh, which down here?
I'm looking at the very last number, which I see
here. 30.
Yeah. Which would be 3, right?
Yeah, 1/3.
Yeah.
So when I go ABC equals to 6, is GHI equaling to 24? There's a separation of 6 between each number. The crisscross connection is all 10. The difference between the connection of the lower world and the upper side is 4 to 1, meaning one is 1/4 of the other. When I add the D, or the fourth number, onto it, the fourth area here, when I add this, 4 plus 6 equals to 10, D equals to 4. So now the lower world equals to 10. The upper area, adding the F6, which comes from the 4, 5, 6, also noted to be what is the Federation. Those are the letters, other than the Heb, not Hebrew, but Heb, just to start. So when we add this, it becomes the 1/3. So the 4 numbers become the 1/3. The 3 numbers become the quarter. This is where the 3 and the 4 corridor come and meet each other. They meet each other where 3 passes the corridor into 4 and meeting up in the upper world. This is where the G in Hebrew is used for Gimel instead of C.
You lost me again.
Okay, there's 9 numbers on the face of this.
So look, I got the ABC and y equals 6. I understood that.
ABC.
The Rubik's Cube example that he gave you. That's why he's given all these different examples. It's similar.
ABC. GHI. 1, 2, 3. GHI.
Okay.
These 3 and these 3 will meet these 3. When these 3 meet these 3, 9 and 4 is 13, 7 and 6 is 13, 8 and 5 is 13. When these 3 meet these 3, it's 1 and 6, 7, 3 and 4, 7, 5, 2, 7. And that's how they connect to the Fed over here. If you want to do the left side.
So wait, are you using the number 13 to connect different numbers in different directions, and that's how you're getting patterns?
Well, the 7 is the lower level of numbers, okay, will create only 7. But the reflection of the same kind of connection will create 13 on the upper side. 2 different areas. 2 different areas. Even when you pick up these cubes, like I showed you before with 3 and 3, 6 and 4 and 4, well here it's 2 and 4, 6 and 5 and 3. And we get the same result, equality. 5 times 3, 15. 5 plus 3, 8. I made a mistake here. I don't know why I did that. 15 plus 8, 23. 2 and 3 is 5. 2 plus 4, 6. 2 times 4, 8. 8 and 6, 14. 1 and 4 is 5. And nothing to do with me. But what is 4 and 2 reverses to 5 and 3.
One's 8 and one's 6.
One's 8, one's 6. Now, this is not me. This is a game, a professional game going on where they've already told me all the answers. I already know all these answers. All the answers are in games. If you want to use professional or you want to use professor, do you want to use the word game? Or if we talk French now, did you know the name in the game is all within the soul in your name. Want me to tell you why? Because if it's a French person speaking, they won't say it that way. I'm just going to bring one word out of this, and the word is âme. A-M-E is soul in French. They add the E for the house that we are born into, the woman's house, the E world, because in the male world, it's only waking up in the A.M.
That's why the Lord said it's better to have a good name than a lot of different things.
Yeah, there's a lot.
All right, so let me. Okay, so let me ask
processing a lot, so.
Can I? Yeah, it's a lot to process.
It's deep.
Okay, so I'm born on October 30th, 1985. My first name is Luke. What can you tell me about that?
You're full of threes. You're born on the 303rd day of the year. Okay. There's 63 days that remain. You said something else about a 3 in there. I don't remember what it was, but you're all threes. Oh, look. Yes, your name is 333. L-U-C 333. Yeah, you're all threes.
So L-U-K-E.
Well, you want to? Oh, okay. You want to do it that way? Okay, we can do it that way.
Well, it's just the way they spelled it.
Okay, so if you use the K letter can be reverted to the C letter. So using the K, that is part of, I'm just trying to see, because right now I'm only using reflective answering, which means what others say, where I found it before. Partly calculable, and only relationship is because of their word analogy and number relationship. And I'll show you it this way. 11. 1 times 1, 1 plus 1 equals 1 and 2 equals to 3, and that's where your first creation comes out in the split house.
So I'm 3, 3, 3.
Yeah, you got, yeah. So then your relationship, all your relationships are to the Trinity of creation. Your relationships are over here. 7 plus 3 is 10. 1 plus 0 is 1. 4 plus 3 is 7. 1 plus 3 is 4. So all of what you are is here. To create all that what is mutable comes only from what is in creation. You see the duplication of the reserve. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 7 is 14. 1 is 4 is 5. 7 months of 31 days. 4 months of 30 days. 1 month of Valentine's. 7, 4, 1, 8, 5, and 2. 7 and 8 is 15. 1 and 5 create 6. Cardinal fixed. 7 and 5 is 12. 1 and 2 is 3. Cardinal fixed. 7 and 2 is 9. Cardinal fixed, creating mutable 9. 2 and 7 is the base of the house, number 27, house of bait. 4 and 8 is 12. 1 and 2 is 3. 4 and 5 is 9. 4 and 2 is 6. 1 and 2 is 3. 1 and 5 is 6. 1 and 8 is 9. Pretty simple. I showed you.
Not to interrupt you, I'm sorry. What about 6 and 5? That would give us 11, but wouldn't we need to add those together to make 2 to make it right? Or
yeah, well, they say not to reduce it, right? And I'm going to show you one of the reasons why. Oh, I wanted to also answer this question, this thing.
Before you start that, you said I was born on the 333rd day.
303rd day.
303rd day, okay.
63 basic days, 63 days, 63 days that remain, because I'm never sure which way to go when you add in the leap year on that. So 62, 63, it's communication, basically. The only 2 numbers that exist, there's only 2 letters that exist in the 9th house, and it's I and R, and they reflect themselves. And it's also the base of creation. I'm going to show you this. 1 comes into 2, creating 3. Now we take 3 of these and 6 of these. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 plus 6 is 9. 9 and 18 is 27. That's your low Trinity creation. That is where you're connected to. You're connected to that and your basics of all creation. Methodical. Methodical, because it doesn't matter if you're looking left or right, you're always going to see something. That's what the Trinity does. If you're at the heart of the Trinity, you're going to see everything on two sides, plus the side you're on. Nowhere. And everywhere.
And that's crazy because I actually see things from both sides in the middle. Like I can argue any point from left or right and through and neither. It's wild.
I love all of this. You have all these shapes. I love all these shapes you have.
So the top shape.
I have that stuff in my house. It's funny.
Top shape shows 3 areas. Bottom shape shows 3 areas. But if I hold it like this, there's 4 areas. Listen, I can't explain how things work. They are what they are. You know what I'm saying? But if you look at the center, right, there's only 3 areas connected. There's 4 areas connected to 3 areas and 3 areas.
Is this how the dimensions are built, in your opinion?
Yeah. Stability.
Yeah. Okay.
Stability.
I can definitely rock with that.
The reason why 3 and 4 is the heart of the 7th gate is because when you're going to run into 3 and 4, you'll run into it by 1 and 6, 2 and 5, 3 and 4. What's outside of 3 and 4? 5 and 6. Outside is 7 and 4.
No,
1 and 6, sorry.
Question. All this stuff, and believe me, you've showed me some crazy stuff, like mind-blowing stuff. All of this stuff you've learned, at what point can you apply it to life to make a better life?
Right now, for myself, if I can finish this system and build it and share it, everybody can have the vision and understand there's a direct connection, there's a creator, so we can all make proper decisions. First of all, we can all come together and just stop fighting. We'll awaken to something. I believe there's going to be an awakening into everybody once they can see it. It's here. You can believe it now.
But even still, what if we all still see it in a different perspective? Like you see it in numbers, I see it in everyday life.
That's going to be all. People are always going to see it in their own light, right?
But when those are asleep, okay, when you wake up one person, I believe that because we all live. Now, don't forget, I'm saying I believe in buts, right? So I'm putting a whole story together, and I don't know the end result because sometimes I'm scribing on the same way before I put anything to a more solid that more than I believe to this is the way it should be because of the story of the numbers. That's the way. I don't want to guess anything. I want to talk about what these numbers are saying. Like if I have number 18, it's 2 times 9, 18, or it's 4 times 4 equals to 16 plus 2, with reason that we live in this house with the lunar Mars combination of Mars bringing in 2 moons and Earth having 1 moon. And that is an absolute. In this game we live, we have 3 moons. They change them all the time. I don't know what they're doing with them. The sun is split. I don't know how it's split. I don't know if they use reflection. I don't know how it works. I just know according to the artwork, according to the numbers. In fact, the letter A doesn't tell me about the ace. But when I see the ace in the deck, when I see the A in the deck of cards, they all call it out as ace. ACE.
Wait. So can we go back to the 3 moons? How did you come to that? So when you start like going on about aces and all these different things, it tends to get very, very skewed and not understandable.
Yeah, split sun too. I didn't get that.
Okay, so
split sun as well.
So let's start with the split sun. Now here's the relativity for me for number 1. Here's number 1. Also, if I just say number 1, what do you got? I got 1. Well, you got the ace card. You got the ace card. It's noted to be ace. It just shows an A, but it's an ace. When you write out,
it could be 11 as well.
It could be 11 as well, but it's the ace card. The numeric value.
And also the highest designation in the deck.
14th card. So
it's the 14th card, right? Because the king is the 13th, right?
right, right. And you can also use it as ace-6. Do you use ace-6 and say I stand? Or will you have to go ace, or do you pull a card to go ace-7, you have to stand? So when you have an ace with a 7, you're going to automatically stand. But there are games where they'll say no, the dealer does not stand on soft 17 or pulls. Right?
I think it's soft 15. I thought it was soft.
Right. And so what happens is if you want to go to the that theory or mode, I can go into that blackjack mode. But first let me finish with the sun or the ace. So the S letter, although it is number 19, and the U, although it's number 21, 21st letter in the alphabet, and the N is the 14th letter, 19, 1 plus 9 is 10, 1 plus 0 is 1. 21st letter, 2 and 1 is 3, 14th letter, 1 and 4 is 5. Now because when I look at the ace, I see this. When I look at the ace in this world, this way or this way, but this way says I have cut the house in half by squeezing the legs in and not keeping it square. But what happens in this is the ace looks like the protractor, where there's the left side and the right side. The ace can be split in half to create multiple areas. So
doesn't that look like the pyramid on the back of our money?
That's the Illuminati sign, absolutely is.
Okay.
And that's why he's going to explain to you why they do that.
Yeah, I'm listening. I'm just blurting. I'm sorry.
No, you're right.
I'm gonna shut up.
the 13th and the 14th letter are the separation of the 26 letters of the alphabet, meaning that 13.5 would be the heart. That means we have a split alphabet. Therefore, 13 also is the end cycle of the moon. Therefore, we have a split moon equaling to a split sun.
Wait, how did you get a split alphabet? There's 26 letters in the alphabet. Half the alphabet is
13.
13.
Yeah, 13.
The ace is the 13th card.
Ace is the 14th card. King's the 14th
No, there's
card.
there's only 13.
Oh.
There's 1 through 10.
Well, if
so
you're
that's...
counting the ace as the first card, then you can't count it as the 14th card.
Oh, no, I don't. If I count it at the 14th card, you know what it says? And I'm not going to get into that because I'm not stretching out. No, it's the 13th or it's the first. It's your choice. I mean, you can also count it as everything ends at 11. Because
Right.
So the same exact algorithm works out as well. It could be the 13th or the 14th card, depending on the space you're occupying.
hold on, I didn't listen to that because I'm busy writing out something else I didn't finish here. Okay, say that again.
So it could be the first or the 13th or the 14th, depending on the space you're occupying.
Well, if you use it at the 14th, let's use 14 as an expression. The reason for that is just like the house I'm living in has 725 area feet, right? But there's 3x3 area feet that cannot be used right now because I'm sitting on it. I'm the extra, you know what I'm saying? I'm the extra.
No, I understood that, how you explained it in the Monopoly game. That's why I'm making the same analogy to the card game.
So here...
There's no 14, though, guys. Like, Luke, there's no 14. If you count 2 through 10... No, we don't have a number 1, technically, in the card deck. There's a 2 through 10, right? So, let me explain. There's 2 through 10, which is 9 cards, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got Jack, Queen, King. So that's 3 more. That will give you 12. And then the ace would be the 13th card.
Right, but the ace is either you can play it as the first or it's higher than the king.
First or the last.
But there's still no 14. There's still no 14. It
It's
doesn't
that-
matter
it's that-
if you
so
put it
just
in the
like-
beginning or the end.
But it's the same thing as the 12th space at the electric company. It's the 12th and the 13th space at the same time, depending on how you count it.
If you go get a deck of cards right now and you separate them all out by the suit, right, you're only going to have 13 in each set. There is no 14th card. I don't understand where you're getting the 14 from. Where is that coming from?
Because it's over the king.
No. Even if it was over, there is no 14th card. Unless you're using a joker, like there's no 14th card.
52 cards in the deck, 4 times 13 is 52.
You're not counting the space you're standing on. I'm making the same analogy in the Monopoly game. You don't. How can the electric company be on the 12th and 13th space at the same time?
Okay, because he's referring to this. He's referring to this.
I'm referring to the schematic he gave before.
But the electricity company was the 13th spot, right?
That's what I know. 12 or 13.
So where? That's what I'm saying. So I don't understand.
This is what Luke is telling you right here.
Yes. It's the same exact thing. He's told us with the Monopoly game that there really isn't a 14th. It's really not the 14th spot, but it also is, depending on the spatial you're counting, the spaces you're counting. I had no freaking. I don't believe I'm even explaining this. This is blowing my freaking mind.
Well, at this point, there's like a joker card in the deck.
See, you guys were like knocking it. Don't knock it till you understand it. Exactly. Like that's so cool.
See,
that you're
I listened and I asked pertinent questions to understand what he was talking about. Because you cannot deny that the normal person who does not know how to listen, who prefers to be right instead of understand the truth, would have never understood this.
Agreed.
Well, yeah, but you know that I get what you're saying, but you know it's like why even go to school then if that's how
I
you
like
feel.
to listen to other people's ideas. So.
Most people, but if you talk with most people, they would rather be right than understand the truth.
I know.
Exactly.
I know.
So they'll argue their point to the death and shift their goalposts and move this around.
Yes.
And they never have a dialogue and try to understand.
Right.
I was
right,
laughing and stuff. I mean, freaking that guy, man, saying stupid stuff, man, made me laugh. But I was truly listening and trying to understand. I'm not, but I can't freaking believe that 10 minutes ago I was so lost in the sauce, and now I'm explaining it to other people. That just blows my mind.
Once you see it, you see it.
That's true. I'm an educator, and that's actually that's a question that we ask children or students. Like, we know that they do not understand what we've taught until they can teach it back to us.
Right. So
that's how we test the understanding.
I almost said to you.
So maybe I don't understand it fully.
Right, because I almost said that to you earlier, because you're like, I understand. I'm like, if you understand it, you should be able to teach it. You're like, I can't explain it. I just understand. I think you're grasping concepts. I don't fully understand where he's going, but I understand his concepts now that I have clarified certain points.
Right.
I think that we're trying, like when we first started, I think, you know, the confusion was coming from a lot of places where like, well, what would you use this for? Why are you using this? What's your point of using it? It's just like I said, to me, it's you're looking at all the different systems and symbols and ways of life, just everything around us, buildings and everything. Like that's what this is to me, what he's explaining. It's just an explanation.
What's the end game here?
1984.
Yeah.
What?
1984.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm going to show you two things. I'm going to show you this.
Hold on.
Baseball. Oh wait, no, there's extra.
I have to go, but I'm going to give you a follow. Because I knew when I first started talking to you that you were onto something, but you were so passionate and you're saying it so fast it's really difficult to understand. But I would definitely, if you're ever on a live again, just share it with me. I wouldn't mind hearing you again.
Well, I don't know if anybody minds, but I record myself everything I do, and I want to ask everybody, is it okay? I mean, they don't see you because my camera's out in the corner, so they're not seeing us, but they hear us.
I'm good with it.
So I just want, okay, because I have 15,000 videos on YouTube, and this.
You're literally overwhelming.
I followed you too.
Well, in order to get credibility, what am I going to do? Sit at home, write a book, and ask everybody to believe me?
No, I agree. I totally agree, bro. 100%.
Mr. Tack, if I say anything that sounds ridiculous, just mute that out for a second.
another wavelength, like an Einstein wavelength, and I felt it, but I just couldn't grasp it until I had to ask a lot of questions to get there. You know what I mean? And I'm still not even close. Like, I'm not even close.
You're getting there. Keep looking inside yourself.
I think it's the Russian genetic material. But anyway, yeah, that's a whole nother story.
Alright, guys, I gotta go. It was great talking to you. I got a headache now. I've got like an infinite of the universe.
Thank you, look.
You're gonna have good dreams tonight. You're gonna have wonderful dreams.
No. That's not how this works.
Your mind's gonna try to work it out.
Yeah, my mind's gonna be racing tonight, and I ain't gonna sleep at it.
How about Gigi?
He's gonna be.
Here's your 57. Here's your 2012.
Okay.
Look at the numbers inside. Say 5772 Hebrew time. I work on Hebrew time. I work on any time and everybody's time because everything counts.
Right.
All right, guys, I gotta go.
But
What's the end game, Nick?
okay, so the end game basically is once we all understand that this is a game, we're going to start making decisions differently. Also, the end game, as I understand, now remember, hypothesis, understanding of everything I went through, end is good. Getting to the end is going to be the rough part.
So you're saying that like the whole point is playing the game better?
Yes. Yes, because we sign our name too fast, we accept messages too fast, we answer too fast, you know. We don't pay back to our employees for what they give to us. Our employees always want more from us, and they don't give us enough. It's terribly unbalanced. I'm not sure if I wrote this out or if I put this up yet, that, and it was one in part of the scripture, okay? I don't remember what it was. Somebody mentioned it on here. I'm hoping to find it.
In the comments, you mean?
No, you guys were talking about this. I'll try to make it in short, but it sounded better when I wrote it out before. Okay? Why shouldn't the Lord, the God, share everything with us and more? Because the minute the father keeps one thing from the child, right? Do you know what that effect is?
What is it?
The effect is this. I will show you. I am the father. I kept it from my first child, MS. My child had a child, kept it from her child, Host, who kept it from number 4, Alex, who kept it from JM Smart, who didn't know anything, so had to go out on their own to figure it out themselves. If we keep hiding everything, how do we know the difference if you don't explain what you know and your perception and your logic when you do know it? Just telling a story is not there's the same thing as explaining what your version and how, right? We have to have credibility. We all seem like, I feel like a salesman sometimes. I don't like to do that.
Talking about what you're saying is a personal relationship as opposed to a frivolous relationship.
Right, and it stems down right into yourself. Right? Now, this is the thing that gets mixy-uppy in this world that we live in, you know? Wear this, wear that, this one's doing this, if you don't do that, now you're being judged. So you're living in this world upon constant judgment of what others see. But when you become personal, not in the army, where everything is general, is only when you hang around with the king. The king becomes all full expression. That's when you're with the throne. When you're with the throne, where are you? Sitting on it. You're sitting on the throne, contemplating. You become the thinker. The washroom. The reason they bought toilet paper is not because of that. The Heavenly Father is within the sky, and it is Trinity, because in the word toilet, okay, is the connection between the lower and upper world in the star system of Trinity.
Say that again.
The letter combination of TOI, not TROY, okay, not TR. R is us. We are the coming. We are the birth. We are the reason for the 99. We are the reason of bringing together the twins. Us. We came here to bring it together. We crown it. We become the 13th. Even the Mayans, when they show you their calendar, they show you that 5.25 days above the 360 degrees equates to that period of time passing. in which gave me the understanding in this equation, sorry if you may not understand, is that 360, the full circle, times what I understand is a day, a full circle, there are 1,440 minutes in a day. Multiplied by, what was that number I just said? Wow, I tried to explain it so well, I lost my number.
65.2121.
Right, no, oh yes, 360 times 1440 equals to 5184. Do you know what 5184 is? That's the exact angle to the Giza pyramid. 51 is the...
Yeah, which was pre-flood.
42 is a representation of the angle of the, apparently, or division of the arc-en-ciel, which means rainbow. 42 is also representation of part the communication between the soul. That part comes in, wow, I'm telling too many things out here. I'm just telling you the story is a story. The cat is number 24. The 24th letter is X. The reverse alphabet of the 24th letter is C. The extension of our alphabet is C2X, 3 and 24. Like, look, 3 and 6. When you get A and B, 1 and 2, you create 3. That's when 3 goes through the corridor of 4. 3 and 4 run the same house. There's only one area space. They share the same area space. So when you're dividing, okay, 22 by 7 pi, that is the area space that your heartbeat runs.
Are you familiar with a couple names like archaics?
No, I've never read anything. I just studied the cube and listened to people talk. I just know the alphabet and games. Everything I'm telling you comes from the games. Just from everybody out here, thank you for being here. Thank you for giving me space.
What I can tell you is that I know you stop at 9 in your alphabet, but if you go on out to 26, there's a lot of mysteries if you start adding up the numbers and not simplifying them.
So when I add up...
And the mystery side of that is the division.
So when I add up 1 through 18, it equals to 171. I stopped at 18 for the reason that if I had to count 2 alphabets to 18, or running my alphabet to the heart of 360 degrees, I would stop on the first 18 or 180 degrees and leave the second half of the alphabet at the other 180 degrees. But I won't go there. But if I take the alphabet and associate the first 2 numbers, 1 and 2 equals to 3, and I associate the last 2 letters of 25 and 26 equals to 51. So the low part and the high part would begin at 3rd and end at 51st. So it begins in 3rd bronze and ends in 51st, in first place, into the ocean in the first house at the heart. Area 51, where 2, 3, 4 hold the vibration. The total alphabet adds up to 351. Do you remember I said to you 1, 3, and 5 ace, the sun? The alphabet adds up to 351. The vowels A, E, I, O, and U add up to 51. The balance is 300. When you add up the first half of the alphabet, 1 through 13, it equals to 91. Just like the deck of cards, there are 13 cards. It is 7 times 13 equals to 91, equaling to the average of 7. When you add up the second half of the alphabet, 14 through 26, it equals to 260. The average now is 20. 20 of 13 numbers, equaling to 260, and also equating to the same numerics that align with the HAB, with the calendar of the Mayans, in which have the 13 and 7 areas of 20 that runs their gridstone. Yeah, and a whole bunch of other stuff like that too.
I've met a Mayan.
It makes sense when you are, you say it's a lot, but like when you look at where these number systems come from, they came from Egyptians. A lot of the things come from these ancient peoples. So it's not that you're saying a lot, that this is where it comes from. They're the ones who started all of this for us, and where all of our buildings and everything's based off of. So it makes sense to me.
But it kind of just sounds like you're correlating these numbers to things that could just like
You
saying
mean a
like,
coincidence?
or yeah, I'm not using the right word, but you're like talking like what the Pyramid of Giza, and there was a number correlated to that.
360 times 1440, 1440 minutes in a day.
Yeah,
12 by
like
12.
128 or something, I think, or something.
Well,
Something about the Pyramid of Giza.
I don't know. 128 has to do with part memory, Earth and Mars association to the student. And that, what you just said, reason I said it, is 128, 256, 512.
Okay.
I don't, because I don't speak, I just want to tell you, it's all numbers for me. I don't speak linear, meaning that if you tell me number 1, is it 1 and 9 equals to 10, 1 plus 0 equals to 1? I learned to do this through knowing that I can do this because they do it in Pythagorean counting and when they read birth numbers. So I'm doing the same thing and millions believe it. Why can't I do the same system? So I'm just associating other people's systems and orchestrating this all together and showing off what they speak of and the actual math. I mean, this...
Yeah, I like the way you've explained it. A girl came in the chat and was calling you like a numerologist or something, but I don't look at you as that. Like, you are giving a lot of logical, historical things, and it's not, I don't know, I guess I have maybe like a biased view against numerology to a certain degree. I don't look at you as a numerologist per se.
And I'm not saying he's wrong or nothing. I'm just, you know, you got to question what people say no matter what. So.
Numerology has gotten, like I said earlier, that you can look at numerology, astrology, and things as bad paths if you use it in an incorrect way. A lot of people are trying to predict their future and stuff like that, and you know, a lot of that stuff does go down paths where there's darkness, but there's a lot of light as well. You know, when you start listening to Taps and others, I would recommend a guy named Arcades. If you've never heard of him, hit me up and I'll give you his link. But he does a lot of work with the Giza pyramids at Giza, and has a date out there as far as what he believes that timeline that he's put out and things of that nature.
So here's how I think, and every day I share as if I'm doing it and talking to myself sometimes. I have no choice because I used to come on here and do no lives at the beginning. Now that I am here with others, I have to refrain from certain things. Well, I really don't, because I've never gone overboard with any of my words. But anyways, so many people have said so many things. Sell your art, do this, do this. Do you know this? I'll give you their name, and I know I'll get the name. But in order for me to associate and take 500 names and wait, I rather, if we can all work together, give them my name, right? That we work the RAM together, and everybody goes out. If you believe in the work, let's share the work. Let's bring others to me. Because if I start chasing down and waiting on everybody, I have so much in my head already. This is why when I speak, I'm still learning how to speak to others, how to share what I see.
No, I'm not. Trust me, I'm not trying to get you to go to other people. But I mean, Archaics has his own work. I mean, you guys that are doing this stuff are very busy, and I'm sure that he would love to make your acquaintance and talk more about your knowledge of your systems and things of that nature. I'd like to go back at some point in time and hear, like I said, from the beginning. You were telling me a little bit about how your childhood, and I kind of want to know what turned on the lights for you, because you had some sort of experience or dream, you said.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you. Is this how you spell arcade?
ARCH.
AIC.
Hold on, say that again. ARCH.
AIC.
I think you're familiar with this one.
I believe I spelled that right. Is there an E in there? Hold on, guys. Hold on. I gotta bring it
Sounds like
out.
you're familiar with him.
now I'm misspelling it. No, it is. It's ARCHAIC. You got it right. That's how
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, you got it
ARCHAIC.
Yeah.
Sorry for marking T below. I marked T, right? What did I mark there?
TEA.
You say that in one word?
T. T.
How about two words? One across, two down.
TX.
One across, two down. Say it in one word.
One across, two down.
Yeah.
One down, three across.
One down.
Is that A-E-H-E-A?
TEA says T.
Yeah, T.
And the other way it says
I don't know what
H.
A-E-A-T.
Oh, sorry, I don't write that. Yeah, I'm an artist with my C. Sorry.
I thought you said one across, two down, so I was doing THEA.
So it's T and H. And if you read them together, what do you read?
T-H.
Tape? I don't know. I don't know. What are we doing here?
I don't know either.
Teach.
Teach.
Okay, alright. I see that.
This is where the fourth position.
I see somewhere. Sorry.
Yeah, we were.
Thank you for. This is amazing. Like, thank you. That's all I can say. Thank you for your time.
Well, it's our time. You're welcome. Much appreciated. I had to turn this around so you can see another brick on the wall.
I followed you up because you remind me of one of my best friends who unfortunately passed away a few years back that was very into a lot of these things that you're into, and I obviously love to further my knowledge on this stuff. So.
Okay, so what happened is back in 2005, on the 5th day of the month, okay, 2005, 5th day of the month, I was 41.
Yeah.
55555. I just had a vision, and after that, but it started. I felt it coming on before that. Everything seemed larger than life. I looked at something, and it just wasn't a road sign anymore, but it was telling me something. And the words on the sign "stop" didn't just mean stop. There was something more to that four-letter word. That design was more. It was telling me more. And it just until one night I met the teacher, like I just showed you. Right? I showed you the teacher, T and H. You know where it begins, right? It begins at 4th. And you know how far out it reaches to? It reaches out to 20th. Sorry, I before E, except after C, it becomes 20th. So what is that? I'll show you. Okay? Is that when you look at 21, it's 21st. 1st and 21st completes the amount of area space occupied on the cube.
You kind of lost me there.
Okay, this cube here, there are a total of 21 dots.
Okay.
21 dots. So it's one dot, and when you count 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 equals to 21.
Right.
I got you.
So what happens now? Why 4th? First of all, there's 3 opposite sides. Okay, there is no real 4. In this situation, there's no 4. But if there is a 4, it's that on 3, on the 3rd part. Right? You remember I said we need 1 and 2 to come together? Nothing happens until 1 and 2 come together, right? Let me see. 1 and 2 come together. That's over here. That's that 3. The 3 runs the same corridor. The opposite side of the 3 is the 4. Opposite side of the 3 is the 4. If we looked at this as Trinity, this would be 3 in Trinity, 3 by 1, 20. equals to 360, other than thinking things in quarters. Okay, 4 by 90 equals to 360. They run the same corridor, the corridor of 3.5. So anytime you get to a 3 and a 4, okay, the 3 and the 4, there's going to be the same corridor between them. 3.5 is the heart of that corridor. Why? 3 plus 0.5, 4 minus 0.5 equals what? 3.5. If it doesn't work out mathematically, throw this away, because it all works out mathematically.
Right.
So when you get the 4th in the Olympics, you don't get a medal. And you become part of the family of TH, and you are 4th. Gold, silver, bronze, and then 4th, and the TH family goes all the way to 20th. And at 21st, you end up with 1st again, like 1st as the beginning, 1st at the end. I can't be at both ends of the spectrum. So when I am with 1, this is my 1. And where's my 21? At the end is my spectrum, the opposite side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equals to 15 plus 6 equals to 21.
Would you even, I'm sorry, go ahead, Jay.
I was just going to ask him if he's ever done anything with probabilities.
Okay, if you want to talk about pi,
I'm talking about like standard deviation.
if somebody showed me something, I'd have to understand that I've never seen it. I'm very, very basic.
With a bell curve?
No, never really did that, but I would look at it if somebody sat down with me and I'd see what it would tell me. Because I do everything that's fixed and rigid, right? And everything curves between. So if you want to put more dots or area space between and round everything out, then that's fine and dandy. But right.
Where I'm going with probability in a bell curve is in standard deviation is when you go to us as people in standard deviation, see everything falls into a bell curve. So if 1/3 fell and 1/3 is good, then that leaves the other third in the middle, right? So that's why I was going there.
I look at things different. I mean, like with your explanation, I don't really consider that to be good. I just look at that as the others are just not following the norm, or the others just learn a different way. They're just on a different.
Well, that's where the bell curve comes into being.
Yeah.
Right? Just because you are on one side doesn't necessarily mean you failed. You just are learning a different way.
For the person on the other side, talking about the 3 and the 4, like, have you ever considered, like, what was written to have been created on the 3rd and the 4th day? Have you ever?
You know what? Maybe I have, but I'll tell you one thing. I do not remember. I do not remember.
It all relates, Miss Me.
Yeah, because I looked it up, and it says on the, well, let me go back. On the 3rd day.
Unfortunately, I got to drop, and I want to tell everybody thanks for the chat. I got to take my wife to the airport, so.
Have fun.
All the best. I followed you guys, and I hope we can do it again relatively soon. So.
Yeah, I actually already know you, Jay. I met you in person.
Yeah.
But I would get some ice cream after dropping her off. That sounds like fun.
There you go.
But,
I gotta fly. We'll see you guys. Hey, McCass, thanks so much. Appreciate it, sir.
But yeah, the 3rd day, that would be, the land, and says we're the sun, the moon, and the stars.
Yeah, that's when time started.
Now, to me, I'm looking at 4 as the foundation of the triangle, because the triangle is known to be, the strongest shape of all shapes, right?
14,000 years to every creation, and it goes along with what he's talking about. See ya. Gotta go.
Bye.
So
Yeah, the sun, the moon, and the stars, that was what was created on the 4th day. And that is, a lot of people try to relate things to earthly ways or human ways, but we're just such a small part of the sun, the moon, and the stars, right? I mean, like, we can go so deep with this stuff we're talking about. That's why I was trying to be quiet while you were explaining. I tried my hardest to, and I heard a lot of people, interrupting and such, but they weren't understanding. They were trying to, I didn't want to describe my way of thinking, because there's, like I said, there's so many parts to what we're talking about. It just really depends where the person is at with their understanding. So,
the angel comes down through Sagittarius and Capricorn, something to do with the 3 moons. Results in Y, male and female, 3 by 19 equals to 57 equals to moon. Sun, moon equals to 111, which is the heart of the cube, bringing your birth, into your 12 zodiac signs. It crowns you with the star, giving you communication inside the house. This is my rendition and understanding of this.
Okay, thank you.
It also runs into, look at that. Both Saturn and Earth have these 3 letters, right? But it has that twice? Tartaria.
I literally just found out about that. I never knew anything about that until I actually came on here. I might have heard about it, but I'm going to be honest with you. I hated history growing up. I literally hated it with a passion. I thought it was boring. Maybe I just had bad teachers, but as I've gotten older, I've learned I have to go back and learn everything I wasn't interested in growing up. So.
Oh, we're together. We're together. There's. I mean, when you said arcade, right? Archaic. Then first of all, the arch or anything to do with the letter R is going to be a rendition of 3. It's the 18th letter, 6, 6, and 6. I use this because the cube is 6 sides. I also wanted to finish off the 3rd time we did the 8s. Remember we did the 6, 8 once, the 6, 8 twice. Well, here's the last 6, 8. The 1 times 5, 1 plus 5 is 5 and 6. 5 plus 6 equals to 11. 1 plus 1 equals to 2.
Okay.
The reverse of this is 6 and 2, 8. 2 times 6, 8. 2 plus 6, 12. 12 and 8, 20. 2 plus 0 is 2. So 1 and 5 and 2 and 6 equal to 2. 2 and 4 and 5 and 3 equals to 5, 5. And the other one is, I don't remember what it was. Oh, it was 3 and 3 and 4 and 4 back at the top. And that'll be 6, 6. So you have, hold on a second. You got 6, 6. Anyways, we know we did it, so.
I took screenshots of all the stuff we were working on so I can remember, because we talked about a lot.
Oh yeah, there's a ton.
I'll forget it.
And I haven't forgot anything. That was my biggest scare over 20 years, is forgetting what I knew yesterday, because it gets me excited every time I learn a new algorithm. And I learned
notes, right? What I do is I have one, because I used to just like scribble stuff down on like index cards or whatever I have near me, but I collected all this stuff together, and it's better to just have one specific notebook if possible. Keep a tiny little notepad in your pocket, or even your phone. Use your digital notepad on your phone, and then I'll also try to put like a little keyword or something that will just remind me of the bigger conversation. Just like shorthand, because it's nice when you actually get the time to sit down and look over those notes, and then it all comes together. You're like, oh, yeah, because all of it's pertinent. All of it is. And it's wild because the answers or the thoughts or whatever will come to you at the most random of times sometimes. You have to write it down or you'll forget. You'll just completely forget.
Funny that you laughed at that, because yesterday they were talking. Went to this group and they were talking about Moses and going up the mountain, and I'm saying, okay, Moses is going up the mountain. I just walked in the room. I didn't know who Moses was, what mountain that this person was climbing, and I didn't know if they said Moses or the Mo of Zeus. So it could have been up that big mountain, and I don't know who. So Moses went up the mountain, and then all of a sudden there was a burning bush, and I'm saying, okay, it's none of our business. I mean, anytime somebody goes up a mountain and you see a burning bush, turn around. It's not your business.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only one burning bush per man.
Yeah. I mean, unless he's calling for my help, you're absolutely right. Like, that's not my business.
Actually, everything shows you duplication in the work. It shows you that there's always one between two, so that the Father always needs two, that everybody needs two. That's just what it shows. Now, should it be that way? Number one, the first thing is to know the difference. So that's your first operation with one between two. You get something of one, you split it in two, you take a look at it, and then you decide. It's also the movement of a chess piece. And the chess piece moves 2 and 1. So the reason for this moving of the chess piece, I know I jumped off the subject. I'm getting a little tired now. So this chess piece.
Yeah, take a break. Get some tea or whatever.
Yeah, I just don't know. I mean, you mentioned the sun and the moon. You know, there was a pope that left. I don't know where he went. I think he went upstairs the other week there, right?
Yeah.
They call that I think it's the Unilive cycle. So this Unilive cycle ended up leaving on the 111th day. It was not only the 111th day, it was also location is right over here. This is number 111, this area, all this area. Do you know why? Because when you add up all the numbers right to the end, you see dots over here, right?
Yeah.
So when you add up these dots, now there's 3 per row, there's 12 rows. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right to 36, it equals to 666. So when you arrive over here, this is the 14th area. And this 14th area, it's 105. Then you come over here to the 15th area, equals to 120. Remember that number, it's huge. 1 through 15 is one side of the cube. It's what is relative in the lower casing of just 1 and 5. It also relates to Aries and Leo. It also relates to 2 fires. It also relates to a cardinal. Well, if one of them is, you see, one and what it is about 1 and 5, one becomes the heart, one also cuts things in half, and one runs with Purina Cat Chow. Well, do you know why? Because the checkerboard, right? And if the checkerboard, and I'd like to know if we can multiply 36 by 64 or 32, because what happens in the checkerboard is we get a dark, a light, a dark, a light. But if you notice here, and you noticed over here, it's a replica. But if you notice what it's supposed to be, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you saw number 1 was red. Now we get over to number 9, it's red. What's after 9? 10. 10. 10.
I thought we were talking about the cube.
We are, but this is the extension of all the walls of the cube opened up.
Okay, so
Yes, so we have 10, but look at this. 1 plus 0 equals to 1. And look at that. The 1 over here was red. This one is, now we get over here. You know what's here? It's 19. But it's red. And now I get over here 28. So 2 and 8 is 10. 1 and 9 is 10. 1 and 0, 10 is 10. And 1. It switches. When it becomes 10, the 1 and the 0, it remains, okay, it becomes black. When it becomes the two odd numbers, 1 and 9, it becomes red. When it comes 2 and 8, it becomes black. Number 37 becomes red. Only one chip chops all the way through. This is from the roulette board. You can see 2 X's. You can see 2 Y's. You know what this tells me? It has reflection. Therefore, the cycle ends at 36. The 37, or the 360 degrees, is the new set of cycles.
Okay.
This is what it taught me. Is it real? But now if I work, now I'm only working by 3s. Remember 3 and 4 is the corridor? I have not done the 4. I should be going 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 5, 6, 7, 8. But I'm not working that one. I'm working the 1, 2, 3 right now. Oh, I gotta get up from the floor. I'm dizzy.
Yeah, go get yourself some tea with some.
Well, I'm just gonna drink this water. It's just this water. It's gonna take 2 seconds.
Yeah,
Oh my God! Do you see what's happening? Do you see what's happening?
The reflection?
You see my finger?
Yeah,
What's it doing?
it's spinning around.
What's it spinning around?
I also see something else spinning. I don't know. It's a reflection.
What's spinning?
Somewhere.
What's spinning? Seriously, what's spinning?
I don't know. I see a couple things.
What's at the end of my finger?
A fingernail. Your fingertip.
Oh, a little bit further.
Is that a cat?
Oh, you finally noticed. Holy mac.
Oh my gosh! It was so still. I literally thought it was probably part of the artwork. It wasn't moving for so long.
Yeah,
How cute.
it's so hard to tell what's going on here, right?
How adorable. I love kitties.
So, cat and dog is, cat is 24 and dog is 26, 6 and 8. Everything, it doesn't matter what it is. You have the alphabet to work with. You're going to tell a story. A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. Where's Michael Jackson now? MJ. So, yeah, so what I wanted to talk about before is since the TH area of numbers reaches all the way to 20th, the 20th letter is T, okay? The 8th letter is H. The 20th letter, there are 17 numbers that count in this area. 17 is Q. The 17th letter is Q. What is Q? Q is when A, B, C, D come together. A, B, C, D. Remember Trinity comes together in Q?
Okay.
The reverse alphabet of 10 is 17Q, which is J. The J is the 10, the Q is the 17. That is your reverse alphabet. So if we're talking about the teacher or somebody says, hey, look, Q's in town. What is Q? Q's the teacher. Now, number 17 is a rotating, is rotating. Why does it rotate? Because the math of the word rotates. Here's another thing about 17. When the French speak, they tell me to do this. Now, will you take this relative into the world? Or will we just look at what the French say about counting? Let's just say, look at it how they say counting. When they say 17, they will say 10-7. When they say 18, they will say 10-8. When they say 19, they will say 10-9. Is there a story about number 10?
French, but I only took it for 1 year. But I have looked at the differences, and then when you go into the Asian languages or the Arabic or whatever, there's so many different languages, but I notice a lot of similarities. A lot of similarities with English. The ones that are more understandable. Like what I'm saying about the Asian languages, to me, they're just so difficult to understand. I mean, from like an English speaking person, like it's of course a foreign language, but like I don't see any relation at all to where I can even try to possibly translate or relate it to the English language, like Italian, French, Spanish. What other languages? There's a couple more in Europe that even if you don't know how to speak the language, you can kind of look at the word and maybe even figure it out, or even just hear someone say it, you might be able to figure out what they're saying. I don't know if I'm making sense, but
oh no, first of all, in game mode, right? You come up with your answer in game mode. Mm-hmm. If we were all connected around the world, okay, into the game, I'd like to create a game if there's anybody out there that can help me with my idea, okay, that we're all connected together to the central conscience. There's nothing you can hide in the game, as the conquest is learning about, I don't really know which way to go with this, about all the algorithms, these questions that we throw back at each other. So what you were telling me, okay, brings me to think that now, how would I understand Asian languages? First of all, how do they write the word? Do they write, can I just say this, and I don't know what's right or wrong. If I write the word Chinese, right, I'm gonna think that, Chinese, China, got China dishes, C and H. Okay, the first relative thing for me is C and H. The other thing is the rest of the word, the spelling, the numeric value. Shin, okay, or machine. The word machine, right, in French is pronounced as machine, which also says shin. So the A and M, or the reverse of spirit, okay, is within China. That's what it says. That's what the word says. So
that's what I'm saying. Like, do you see how similar that a French word is to our English word, is to a Spanish word, is to like, there's a lot of relation, like very similar. The word is very similar, just a slight tweak here and there. But when you go to other languages that aren't so similar, it just seems like that same word machine, if you were to look up how they pronounce it, because their written language is very different than our alphabet, in the sense that ours is very simple. What do we just have? We have the up and down, the back and forth, the diagonal, and then like the circle, right? They have way more shapes than that when it comes to their alphabet. And like I said, when they say the word machine, comparing just English and French, I guarantee you, I don't know the word, but I can look it up. I guarantee you it's completely unrelated. We would have no idea what they're even saying if we were to hear it.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of work. It's all a lot of work, but just possibly to understand the base. I like to look at the skeleton. Why did they say French? And why do the French say français? Why do the English say English and then they say anglais? Why did they go from A to E? Why did the French stay with the F-R-E into the F-R-A? Well, I already have my understanding, but I'm not going to come here and give you the full explanation, because this is going to go right now just into a...
Alright, I took my headphones off because I looked up the word just to show you. I don't know, I'm like you, I'm a very deep thinker. So then for just Chinese, simplified Chinese, because there's a couple different.
Oh, you can do anything. You can do anything, anywhere, any name. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's very beautiful when you look at it. There's a lot of I look at them as symbols, even though that's their alphabet. I look at it as symbols because it's very artistic the way that they write their alphabet.
Yeah.
Let me see. The way they say machine is. Hold on, let me turn this up. Actually, it doesn't sound very different. Hold on, I'm surprised. It's like Chi. Yeah, it actually doesn't sound that different, believe it or not.
Well, you know what? A lot of musicians and those who know music and how come it's echoing?
I don't know. Let me mute while you're talking.
So, okay, that's better. So, musicians, those who do music, who understand music, I've watched some of their videos, and their numbers match my numbers. I don't understand what they're doing at all, but I understand that when they match and their tune matches, or their tunes don't match up, so I can then understand what my numbers are doing. So when I watch music like that, but I'm very skeleton still. I have to watch what everybody does to orchestrate my own understanding. Yeah, I'm a bit tired now. I'm gonna just like put this to another date.
Definitely get some rest. Before you rest, I would recommend getting something to munch on, getting some juice or tea if you have it. Because water is fine, but you need more than that.
Oh my God, my water! No, don't take away my water! Oh my God, they wanted to take you away!
Tell the kitty to go get you something to munch on and something to drink.
Oh my God, the kitty! Where did the kitty go? Oh my God, still my last breath! Where are you, kitty? Oh, give me a kiss.
That is the cutest. I love it.
So we had enough? Yeah, so did I ever show you this one last piece before I go? Something simple, right? The gentleman before mentioned two numbers, 187, right? And it just so happened to fit right onto here. But so I'm just going to do this really. What's that?
Of all numbers, Mr. Tack, I mean, I really thought that was just really wild to choose that number.
But it doesn't, I can make up a story with all the numbers. In fact, there's one big piece I didn't do today, and I'm very happy I didn't, because it locks, there's only two numbers that run our algorithm of the days of the week and the moon. And they're both equated to 999,999. They work out perfect. I mean, I'm telling you, when I say perfect, I mean, how can you not smile in this world when you see that it's real, that somebody created this system? It's impossible. It took a computer. So here it is. 9 areas. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay. 2 of them, 9 areas. Yes or no?
No.
They both have 9 areas?
They both have it, but if you're putting them together.
I'm not putting them together.
Okay, but yeah, they're the same.
Okay, hold on a second. What did I just do? 9 areas there and 9 areas there.
Okay.
What do you got?
81.
No, 9 plus 9 is?
18.
Is that what you got? 9 and 9?
Yeah.
How many did you have here?
4.
How many did you have here?
9.
How many are missing?
5. There's 5 missing.
There you go. Perfect answer. Here's 3. Here's how many?
Okay, so that's that's in the middle, right? Technically, in the center.
Don't look at all that. Look at something simple. No, this is not. There's no hidden game in here.
Okay.
Here is 3. Here is
4.
No. Here is
the 9.
Okay. Here is 3. There's the 9. How many are missing?
6.
How many were missing on this side?
5.
6 and 5
Okay. Yeah.
is 11.
Yes.
4 and 3 is
7.
Pick another side. Let's try it again. How many here?
9.
How many here?
1.
How many missing?
8.
Flip it to the opposite side.
Okay.
9
so
here.
3 missing.
3 and 8 is
Oh my gosh.
11.
11.
So now we're gonna go here.
I barely do simple math anymore.
Here is 9.
4 is missing. And 7.
4 and 7 is 11. Therefore, all opposite sides are 7 come 11, or your 33 master number hidden in a cube that nobody's ever thought about, right? Nobody talks about it.
Wow.
11, 11, 11. Elon Musk.
Oh, wow. There's just so many ways you can look at these things. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, to try to explain that to the gentleman, Luke, that was asking me to explain it to him, like, that's why I told him, you know, when he shared with us that he had just a certain level of education, there's too many things, there's too many facets of things that go into all of this. There's just too many things.
Soup, anybody? Yes, carrots. Yes, carrots.
Enjoy your evening. We're gonna be here. I followed you. I'm sure that Jan followed you also, and I followed him. We'll definitely, if we see each other online, we'll all meet back up again.
Let's get these groups together. Let's solve the mystery, and let's bring peace upon everyone.
Thank you for sharing all that. You actually answered some questions that I had been pondering, and I'm surprised because I, you know, randomly met you, and I'm just shocked.
Thank you, much appreciated.
Literally shocked at what I've just came across today.
Much appreciated. I do a lot of my own lives, but I find it's easier to not control the board. I mean, it's not easy because I know I'm broken up a lot, which is very tough, like 2 rams hitting heads together. But in order to expand and see things on an alternative mode, I have to join other groups to broaden my, you know, to understand my own numbers by understanding.
Yes, but yes. See, that's where I again go back to, you know, since we speak English, many of us go to, you know, the book of creation, right? The Holy Bible, which some of the gentlemen brought up. And it does say, you know, to come together 2 or more. You know, we have to have fellowship with each other. We can't do this on our own.
Oh yeah, well, first of all, you know what? Tomorrow, today was the 1st. Tomorrow's taxes I'm coming to collect from you. Oh, you know what? Screw that shit. I know the truth. I ain't coming to collect taxes from nobody. I know what they do with it. I ain't getting involved in this. I'll find another way to make a living.
We'd love to never have to pay taxes again.
Well, just before we leave then, you know what? Just I'm just gonna ask the host if I can do this. I have something that, hold on a second. I have something that's on my
I wonder if he's still even here. He might have went to the grocery store during all this time.
Oh yeah, he's somewhere. So let me see. My God, is an algorithm. Treat the tax man. Where is it? Oh,
she's ordering food and margaritas.
Check this out. Here it is. Here it is. Is it too loud? Hold on.
little more when you get your pay. Call it income, call it fair, but I see hands everywhere. Sales tax when I buy my food, property tax on the house I choose, carbon tax on the air I breathe. They even tax the land and sea. Oh, the taxman's game, the taxman's song. They take a little bit all year long, from the east to the west, from the poor to the best. They got their hands deep in our pockets, no rest. Yeah. They tax your car, they tax your land. They tax your dreams, they tax your plans. Tax on dividends, tax on rent, tax on dollars already spent. The IRS and the CREG, they take their share, they make you pay. T5 forms and credits due. Protection B, just more red tape for you. Oh, the taxman's game, the taxman's song. They take a little bit all year long, from the east to the west, from the poor to the best. They got their hands deep in our pockets, no rest. They tax your car, they tax your land. They tax your dreams.
Yeah, I put together the story and went to ChatGPT to write it into a song.
That's so depressing, that song you just played.
No!
Happy Friday, everybody!
Oh my God, Mr. Bill, come! It's Friday again! Day 6! There is no day 7. Do you want to see this? Let's count together. 1 and 1 is 2. 2 and 2 is 4. 4 and 4 is 8. 8 and 8 is 16. 1 and 6 is 7. 7 and 7 is 14. 1 and 4 is 5. 5 and 5 is 10. 1 plus 0 equals to 1. Rotation ends on 6. We reconnect the cubic worlds on the 7th day. That is where it runs through our heartbeat, and this is where pi comes in. The 3-4 doorway is that going through our hearts. The numeric value for heart is number 52. Inside of 5 and 2 is 3 and 4. Inside the breath, just add 18 through the 7th gate. The the B is added, 54. It's called the sun gate. Three ventricles of the heart.
Mister, I'm gonna have to be pushy here. You're gonna have to take a break.
Does it make any sense?
It makes a lot of
Oh no, don't tell me that! I've been working so hard to be wrong!
No, it makes sense.
No, I want to be wrong! Tell my friends! They all know! So what's up?
That game, those little, what is that little monkey game?
The Barrel of Monkeys.
Yeah, see, that's one game that I never wanted in my house. I don't know why. It's just so silly. It's so silly.
Oh no! Ah. Yeah, you know what's really crazy, because a lot of it is in poetry, hidden in music. It's all over the place. I mean, once in 2000 and I don't remember what it was. Anyways, over the 20 years of this work, I don't even like to say some of the things, because you can see me having convulsions online. That when I get deep into the connection, that my heart beats so fast, I get anxiety right away. I just too much information even for myself. And when I do get onto these, if I don't get the floor, it's hard on me to remember everything, so I write everything down to share it back with them, to regurgitate what they all spoke about. But through what do you call it? I don't want to say recognition, not a good word. It's not just logic. It's rational, being understanding rationally based on, I don't know. Anyways, okay, that's it. Yes, bye. That's it. See you later.
Bye, mister. Have a
I'll be back. I'm here all week and every day for 20 years.
All right.
Okay, you saw it here first. Okay, I got the